Should be good. All right, let's roll. First things first, we got Mr. Dalton here with the trophy. Another in-person interview for you guys. Quick interjection, you guys. So this interview was pretty short because we were at an event being hosted by my buddy Tristan Workman, the Marathon Mindset Meetup event. We also got hit with some inclement weather, and so you'll see that in the end of the video. But I do want to just drop a note in here to let you guys know that Dalton is a hustler, okay? And his result is not an average result. It's not an easy result. You will hear that he had to quit his tech SDR role to unlock the big month, but it's something he was able to do. And so our goal here isn't to guarantee you some certain outcome, is to show you what Dalton did and how he did it and how, if at all, the community that we run and that he's a part of helped him do it. Now into the interview. Dalton's here because we got him to quit tech sales, man. I heard you had some outside help. You had some motivation from another Dylan.
Yes.
To quit.
Absolutely.
Now you're like in your 4th month in, right? It was your 2nd or 3rd month where you quit. You did 11, what was it? 11 what in January?
11.7.
11.7, more than tech SDR role from what I understand. And you do it from home. You go to the gym when you want. You obviously are still working hard, but just want to document, what Dalton did to go from where he was like 6 months ago to now, which is crushing it as a setter, top setter, already looking at closing, already has like connections. That's what we're going to tell you all about. So Dalton, you moved to Austin pretty recently as well, right? Like what was the push to move to Austin for you?
Yeah, so I moved to Austin about a year ago. The main push was for work. So I got the job, the corporate job, and then moved here about a year ago.
Is that office here in Austin? Is that why you moved? Or
correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, so you had just graduated pretty recently?
Yeah, I graduated in 2023.
Okay. And then, graduation, do the corporate thing because that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yep.
How soon did you realize that I don't really like this so much?
Dude, almost immediately. It was pretty soon. You start to really deal with office politics. Even going in person, I had to go in person a few times throughout the week, and dude, just the commute was probably one of the worst things that I had to deal with. Just along with again, office politics, the commissions weren't what they were supposed to be, and it really just the overall experience of corporate wasn't something that was for me.
Yeah, was there a particular moment where you remember I need to get out of here?
Good question. I think it just got to a point where when I started getting sales advice from one of my higher ups who I knew was completely unqualified in sales, it really just resonated to me hey, why am I basically learning from people who are putting me, essentially down the wrong path?
There's a skill component to the corporate space, but a lot of it's seniority, right? It's climbing the ladder,
100%.
The politics, you got to lean into it if you really want to maximize that game. But even before that, dude, because we've talked and you've done content stuff and you've kind of had that online money itch, and I don't know all of what you've tried, but had you had success with anything before, any outstanding success, or had you had traction with anything before sales?
Sure. It was very minimal, right? I had a clothing brand, drop shipping brand. I think pretty much every online entrepreneur starts drop shipping at one point. Very minimal success to what I had to sales. I always had that, like you'd mentioned, online internet money bug. And, over time, after doing just thing after thing after thing, it never really worked out. And I figured, why don't I just take my corporate skills of sales and combine it with internet money, and you combine the two, and here we are today.
How long had you known about the high ticket setting or closing before you eventually jumped into it?
Yeah, I had an appointment setting role probably about a year or two ago, but I didn't know it was online ticket, high ticket sales at the time. It was just one of the worst offers you would ever come across. They would pay us for it was cold calling, and they would pay us for appointments shown. But again, it was still, kind of the mediocre offer. But I didn't really find out about high ticket sales until probably when I was in the middle of my corporate career, which was not long after I joined the community. So I'd say about 6 months ago.
Did you just get hit with like an ad or like something, or were you searching for something new?
It was your Instagram ad.
Okay.
Yeah, that I
Cool.
came across.
Cool. And that was like completely the first time you had heard someone talk about this like remote 1099 stuff in that fashion, pretty much?
100%. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. Okay, so you see this random dude wearing a puffy hat on Instagram. You know, I'm just another dude running ads on Instagram to anybody. Even when I see ads, I think the same thing, right?
Sure.
I mean, you're like, dude, I'm in sales. I don't really like what I'm doing. Take a look at things. I take it you probably checked out like some YouTube stuff because we post, but like, what was like the thought process? You're like, okay, wait, I'm in sales too. I don't like this. Let me look at this. Like, then what was like the thought process as you were evaluating this as like a legit thing?
It was the interviews, man. Honestly, it was really cool to see, myself here today, just because I watched through so many of those interviews, countless hours actually, just going through every community member and their experience with the remote sales game, and
Yeah.
it really started resonating to me. Like, hey, this is something legit.
It's funny. I mean, I just recorded one. Chris in there, Chris Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
Just recorded one with him 2 days ago, and he said the same thing. And a lot of people come in and they tell Diego, they're like, dude, my goal is just to be an interview, like get to the point where I'm able to film that. It helps everybody. So yeah, dude. So did you have like hesitancy about it? Like you watch these interviews and kind of sold yourself, but like, did you have any like big red flags or yellow flags where you're like, dude, I don't know, anything like that?
I've been through funnels before with different individuals, and
Yeah.
I will give huge props to Diego because I felt no sales pressure. He was very, and I don't know if that's like a knock on him, but as a closer, but it's actually what got me over the finish line. Really is the lack of, hard sales tactics. It didn't feel like a boiler room is what allowed me to kind of actually join the community and, end up in this position where I've seen success. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, as far as like hesitancy goes, I said like, okay, I'm closed. Let me talk to a few people. And I called up some family members and they said, hey, you got to take the risk because what's the
Yeah.
alternative? I knew the alternative was me continuing down a path of corporate that I just couldn't stand.
Yeah. And you were like, from what I understand, you were doing well in the job. It's not like you couldn't go and get another one,
Sure.
know?
Yeah, absolutely.
In Austin, you're in the freaking tech hubs or one of them. So cool. So then you come into the space and in our community, I meet one-on-one or small group with like everybody. And I remember as you're going through it, and I can kind of tell, dude, when people are going to take this seriously, when they have like the foundation to do this well, to get fast results. And obviously I can't like guarantee fast results, but like I could tell like you were on your shit and you were serious about it too. And so, dude, you're hitting the ground running. You remember like number of applications, interviews and stuff it took before you landed on where you're at?
Yeah, it was about 11 applications I submitted. I think I interviewed with like 3 or 4 people. And then one of the community members, Mauricio, huge shout out to Mauricio, my setter manager now reached out to me, and he even told me he talked to Jake Thatcher and was like, this is the one. So
Yeah.
I got put on that offer pretty quickly. It took me about a month to land my first offer.
Dude, he needs to come to one of these.
Dude,
Mauricio, if you're watching this,
where you at, man?
it's like he's like 3 years in the space now. We got to get him here. He's missed too many events.
Yeah.
And he crushes it too, dude.
Absolutely.
It's not too bad.
It's not horrible.
So 11 applications. Yeah, most people are like, I submit 100 and I don't hear anything back in the corporate space. So let's talk more about the job that you're working. So this was your 3rd month, as you posted in the community, 3rd month in the game, 11.7. And you did like 7 the month before, right?
Yeah, I did 7
While
the
in
month
tech.
before. Correct.
I asked you about the trigger that made you want to get out of tech. What was the trigger that made you put in the notice and go all in with this?
Yeah, I think seeing progress, and as soon as I started to see my commission role make more money than my tech role, I instantly knew that's time. It's now time to do it. I was really focused on evenings and weekends, right? It wasn't easy. I had to work in the tech job, and then I had to, make time management and work towards the 1099 role as well. And as soon as the income passed, dude, I was like, this is it. I'm going to go all in.
I want to normalize that too, dude, because like what we do is not cheap, right? And most of the time, people who can afford it can do so because they're working a job that takes their time. And so like we've seen all the scenarios, dude, the evenings, the weekends, early hours, like across the world. Like if you want to do it, you can make it happen, but you have to prioritize, right? When you put in your notice, dude, did you have any fear? Did you have any doubt? Or were you like, It's go time.
Funny enough, I think there's always fear, and I would, be in the shower and be like, okay, what happens if this doesn't work out? And I think that's just normal, but it's the same standard that you have to hold to prospects of like that fear of uncertainty. And that's what's going to inevitably move you forward. And you have to take the risk, because if you don't, then, you're not going to ever see what your potential is. And, look where I've ended up now. And it's really only the baseline, right? There's still so much more to go, but to answer your question, there's always that fear and uncertainty. I think what helped with that was actually seeing results from the actual, the 1099 job, clearing the income, and it's like, now it's possible. So
not to mention, I always talk about like the 1099 benefits, dude, but you're making more in the 1099 role, which you can kind of play the tax game, like save a little bit more. I don't know if you're already on that, but we have the stuff if you need it. Dude, you just get ahead faster because you keep more money, you put it to work. It's a beautiful thing, dude. And now you're in a really good spot because you have the community. Well, first you have yourself, which just you're competent, which makes all of this work. But then you have the community, and then you have like direct management and sales team that would vouch for you, right?
Yep.
Then you have like the agency that you're technically in that would also do the same.
Yep.
And so you're at the point now where it's like, dude, honestly, being in the sole tech job is potentially more risky than doing this, because like we're gonna have big months. I'm sure you'll have some down months again. That's like kind of normal.
Sure.
But like, dude, once you get like a couple layers of just people that would vouch for you and you have your own results to show, that's the hard part that most people don't get to. So now that you're there fast too, which is cool.
100%. Like no job is guaranteed. Like people say that the standard path is like safe, and it's like that's not guaranteed at all.
Yeah, you could be laid off tomorrow, dude.
100%.
AI. Like these huge companies, it's like, yeah, we're gonna trim our sales team 20%. Good luck though.
Out of nowhere, right? Yeah.
It's kind of funny because not that much time has gone by. It's like you're still in the setting grind. You're still like pushing. I think the business you work for came off a record month when you did the record month. So ebbs and flows, right? What's on the horizon for you besides just, continuing to push forward, doing all that? Like, what are you kind of looking out for now that you know, like, hey, I can do 10K a month setting?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just standard progression, right? Really, I'm going for that closing role. And like you'd mentioned, like the connections I've built, everyone's here today at this event, and it's just so cool to see. I was just mentioning it to you, like kind of worlds colliding where, people from my offer are here, the closers are here, the managers are here, and really just natural progression, man. I try not to get too ahead of myself because I know you got to pay your dues. You got to take one step at a time, but really my next goal is to be closer and, hit those 20K, 30K, 50K months and beyond.
You might be one of the guys we have to film another interview with when you get to 20, 30K. I think it's just a matter of time. Like, dude, if you're hitting 11 in 3 months as a setter, I mean, you know the closers that are doing 20, 30, they're not too different than you. You know, maybe a little bit more experience.
Sure.
I think they're wrapping stuff up. So one or two last questions. If you could go back and talk to your former self, and before you even pull the trigger on the high ticket stuff, like what are you telling yourself that you know now that you wish you knew then?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think just, again, trust the path, put a lot of the work in. I think another thing that's really important is understanding what a quality offer is. So I would definitely tell my past self, like, hey, avoid, guaranteed placement offers, and, understand what is like a vetted offer, what's quality. And again, just trust the process because, at the end of the day, it's you who puts in the work. Yeah,
nobody's going to care about your results as much as you will.
Yeah.
Dude, these clouds are crazy coming in.
Dude.
Yeah, we're about to get rained on, and this event is starting to kick back off. I don't want you to plug the community, but if someone's watching this and they're like, I want to get in the space, I just want, I want some tips, I want some tricks. Like, what's your best advice to someone who wants it like you did? Yo, we got some technical difficulties. Are you guys going to fall over? Besides just saying like, oh yeah, buy this thing, whatever. Like, if your friend wanted to get into this, what's your best advice to your friend?
Sure. I think build connections as quick as possible with people within different spaces. I think connections by far have brought me the furthest. And really just do your research at the end of the day. Like, watch the interviews, dive deep. It's so doable at the end of the day. And really there's nothing holding you back except for yourself. I think, by far just really getting into the space, whether it's through Instagram. I encourage you to try to apply on your own because I've done that. I've been through the Indeed grinds, and you're not going to find the quality offers on Indeed, let me tell you. Really just do your research. Again, it's possible, and build those connections.
Say just being around too. I mean, you show up to pretty much everything now, dude, but being around other people, making it real, dude, because before you're in this tech bubble,
Yeah.
especially if you guys don't live in a city where this is happening, you're in a bubble and nobody understands you, and it's just like, it's friction, right? But if you come here and you go to breakfast and there's 15 people or 10 people doing this, and then you're here and there's 80 people, whatever, like,
Yeah.
it's a lot more real, it's a lot more possible. So we're getting rained on. We got to go inside for this event, but we got Dalton. Actually, he should be getting some bigger trophies soon. This is the 10K.
On the come up.
Dalton's here in Austin, dude. So if y'all are in Austin, you know, we got a big scene here. Come out, get better, and join the community if you want. Thank you guys for watching.